So he took me into his house, and I don't know why I went. Well, I know I went to his house because I was passive as fuck. This is why it was so easy to rape and molest me, because my mom did a wonderful job making sure I was passive as fuck. So he took me into his house, and then I think, was I wearing a skirt? I was either wearing a skirt. I think I was wearing a skirt. I was wearing uniform. And you know how those old white men's like keeping females in skirts so that they can easily molest them. So I was wearing something, and I remember he like, if it was a skirt, he pulled it up. If it was a pants, he pulled it down. And he started rubbing his dick against my ass, and he started like taking my underwear off, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I have to get the fuck out of here right the fuck now. So that's what I fucking did. I ran as fast as I could out of that fucking house. I was like, I have to go. Bye, and fucking dipped. Because, no, sir, you were not about to steal my virginity. Fuck out of here. And then he also ended up going to high school with me too. So another 4 years of just him haunting me and me trying to avoid the fuck out of him so he couldn't do any of that shit. Because he did that shit at school too. And I'm just like, damn, Steven, like this dude molested me so frequently while we were together, just while you were around. And you just let him do that shit. But okay, whatever. I'm not blaming Steven for any of that. I'm just saying, like, damn. Like, my life has been one long string of people not protecting me. And that is a good example, because while you're standing outside, your girlfriend's about to get raped. And, like, there wasn't even, like, much said after, because I remember I came out the house and I was very shaken, because I darted the fuck out of there, so I was very shaken. But we didn't have a conversation about that. And I guess the roles are a little reversed now with Sam, because now he wants me to dominate him. And part of me is just like, yeah, get your revenge. But the other part is just kind of like, yeah, no, stay far away from him. Especially since he's like, keep offering to pay me for shit. But then it's like, you never do anything, and you keep asking me for information. And it's like, this is some weird shit you're asking me for. Because people normally don't do this. So stop asking me to do these things if you're not going to show up to pay me to have been doing those things. Because otherwise, like, normal people don't go out of their way to get shit on their shoe. You know? So I don't see why I would intentionally step in shit just to tell you about it and then not get paid to have done it. But that's as much as I'm going to say about that. So, well, you would think I have more to say about Sam, but I don't really remember much outside of him taking me into his house, him taking me into the alley, and him taking me into the stairwell in high school. But that was so I could slap him. And I slapped the fuck out of him. I slapped him so hard his glasses flew off. And then he paid me for that. And that felt good. So that's why I'm always open to, like, dominate him, because I'm like, maybe it's gonna feel really good to just like completely degrade him for everything that he's done to me, because this dude just never went away. Never. It's like after middle school I thought that would be that, but just never went away. We even went to the same high school. Weird. So after Sam, oh, do I have anything to say? I mean, Sam, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I don't know if you still do that shit or if you just like getting degraded now, but that wasn't cool, bro. And moving on. Next we have Randy. And I'm not gonna say much about Randy, because if you've watched these videos, you know about Randy. I talk about Randy frequently. Randy was the first person that I stopped giving a shit about and just started saying his name all up and down. Like, Randy Lopez is a motherfucking rapist because he raped me and he raped the girl after me. So, he's a rapist. Like, possibly a serial rapist. And if I wasn't so close to his family, I might have gone to the cops. Might have. I say might because I have no support system, and I'm not going to go through something as terrible as filing a rape charge and then just get blasted by society and people's families and cops and just not have anyone in my corner. But I don't have much to say there. If it wasn't for Randy, I wouldn't have realized that I was molested. I wouldn't have dealt with being molested because I wouldn't have had to deal with being raped. And I got to acknowledge the fact that I was molested because of him, but also everything kind of fell apart after that. The people around me made it clear that they weren't my friends. I remember I told Isaiah that Randy had raped me, and he didn't say anything. And Isaiah might be a whole other case, but I don't know if I'm gonna bring him into this, because excluding maybe like once, actually. No, there was that time where I was like asleep and then I woke up and then he was touching me, and then I don't know, I think he might have said that I started it after, but like, how can I start it when I'm asleep? And I can't even choose to see him as like this Precious Bambino anymore, because he's definitely not a Precious Bambino. I mean, like, come on, dude, you went to jail for molesting somebody. You have a problem. You might want to seek help. Like, I know what it's like to have a sex addiction. I know what it's like to lose control. Like, there are days I just want to, like, sleep with anyone with a big dick, but I'm not going to, because I have respect for myself, and I'm not trying to, like, have any more disappointing experiences with these ugly ass niggas. But they didn't really help, because if anything, they made everything worse, because nobody wanted to acknowledge the fact. I remember I told Tyree and Paul that Randy had raped me, and they were like, oh, we're so mad, we're gonna go confront him. And I was like, they actually care. But then, you know, a few minutes later we confront Randy, and he's like, yeah, I did it, I feel so bad and I shouldn't have done it. Mind you, this is 3 times. He raped me 3 times, all of which were very violent. One of the times he had pinned me down and I was fighting back to the point where I accepted the fact that he was stronger than me and there wasn't anything I could do, because I was literally like, we were on my roof on my mom's building, and there's this little area where like the controls for the elevator is, and there's like this square thing that you can like sit on or like lay on, and he had me pushed over that, so he's pinning me down, and I was like fighting him. And I said the safe word, because we had a safe word, because this wasn't the first time that he raped me, so we had a safe word for when it was an unconsensual. So I was saying the safe word, and he was just ignoring the safe words, and I was fighting back, but I couldn't because I was pinned down, and then I just kind of like gave up and just started crying. You know, just accepted it. And that's when he stopped. So we confronted him, and he was like, yeah, no, I shouldn't have done it. And then they were like, yeah, no, it's okay, people make mistakes. And that hurt, because I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time I'm talking about it on YouTube. That kind of fucked me up, because raping somebody violently 3 times isn't a mistake. Like, raping somebody because they were too intoxicated and they switched their mind, they changed their mind about having sex, but they told you they were okay with it before you guys started drinking, but they changed their mind and then they passed out, so you weren't okay with it, but you still had sex with them. It's not like that. It's not like that. But I mean, when it comes to Randy, and Randy is a pathological liar, so it doesn't even matter if he acknowledged this shit, which he has. But he's a pathological liar, so fuck his whole existence. And in the unlikely event that one of his family is watching this, I'm sorry, because you guys are awesome. Randy, however, is a piece of shit. Like, he must have been adopted, because that is some funky ass expired trash. And I don't know how it's related to any of y'all. But he deserves to be in jail because he didn't just do it to me 3 times. He did it to somebody else. He did it to the person after me. You know who they are. I'm not going to say her name, even though fuck her. I'm not going to say her name because this isn't her story. So I'm not going to drag her through the mud just in case this isn't something she's comfortable with saying. But you know who she is. And he did it to her too. That's why I'm mad at him. 'Cause he's a piece of shit. And I only forgave him. Of all the people who hurt me, I only forgave him because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have realized I was molested and I wouldn't have dealt with that. And I wouldn't be here today blasting all these niggas. I mean, it's not that much of a blast. You would need more of a first name. I mean, I gave you Randy's last name, but you guys already knew about him. So after Randy, Gerald didn't do anything. Mike didn't do anything. Not sexually. He didn't hurt me sexually. He was kind of a dick to my emotional and mental health. Because I remember I used to sing all the time. Well, I sing all the time when I'm really happy. And the happier I am, the more I sing. I'll literally sing my thoughts and sing my words and everything that I'm feeling and things that are going on. I'm just a singer. And I remember he was always like, I don't like that. Don't do it. Stop singing. And kind of beat my confidence down. All this stuff. And that wasn't cool. So I kind of lost my mind. Because that was kind of toxic. Not really a good environment to be in the first place. But he didn't do anything severe. And then we have E. So this dude I met at a party. I was with my dom, and he was with his sub, and we met at a party. And then after I broke up with my dom, I started hanging out with them more, and it always felt weird because he would always make sexual advances on me, he being E. And he wanted me to clean his apartment while wearing skimpy outfits and all this stuff, and he started having sex with me, and the entire time I'm just mind you, during this time period, I am not mentally capable of making my own choices for having sex because I am so easy to talk into having sex. Mind you, when I was fucking with E, and he knew this, he can't say that he didn't know this because I said that shit all the time. I was like, no, I'm still in love with my dom, and blah blah blah, and I don't want to have sex with anybody else, and yada yada. So then, he talked me into being a sub, and then he would continuously talk me into having sex with him, and then we would just have sex, and he'd be like, oh yeah, let me finger you, I'm just gonna finger you, I'm just gonna eat you out, I'm not gonna have sex with you, and oh look, now we're having sex. And I just remember feeling weird about the whole thing, because I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't still have this sub, because I really like her, and I don't want him to cheat on her with me, and I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I don't have the backbone to tell him no. And then later I did get the backbone to tell him no, and he didn't give a fuck about my nose. Boy, he also felt the need to tell me that I started it, that I wanted to have sex with him, that time that we went to Home Depot, and he pulled me to the back of his van, his pedo van, his rapist, kidnappee, child pedo van, and got on top of me and started playing with me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to have sex. And he's like, no, let me just put the tip in. And I'm like, I don't want to have sex. You putting the tip in is having sex. So he is a rapist, full-blown rapist, and a gaslighter, and probably should lose his status as a firefighter. And if I had proof that could put him away, he wouldn't be a firefighter anymore. He would lose his job. I would ruin his life because Fuck you. Your life is bullshit. Hope you burn in hell. Bendejo. Hope you crash your motorcycle. I hope you do. I hope you don't survive. Because fuck you. Fuck you. Like, fuck you. Like, take a spiked dildo, attach a pair of Cutco brand scissors to it, and fuck you. Lovingly, gently with the chainsaw. Motherfucker. So there's that. And, like, I recall just feeling completely uncomfortable the entire time that we were, like, hanging out. Because he'd always try to, like, pressure me into having sex. And try to pressure me into having sex. And try to make me a sub. Now I'm getting memories. Ooh, I just got another person. So that's E. I don't hang out with E anymore because I learned what self-love was, and every part of me that was broken before I started dating Leon, and we'll get to him, every part of me that was broken before I started dating Leon broke even more after Leon. So there was a time in which that's the only reason I found myself sleeping with E, because I was just like recoiling from the loss of Leon, that I almost would have went with anybody, really. Like, I just wanted to be loved, which is why I slept with E, and which is why I, like, humored him, because I just missed that feeling. But then after some time, I just continued to break and break and break to the point where I couldn't be that emotionally damaged person anymore. And I just couldn't allow myself to be put in that situation anymore. So I took myself out. And then I remember my last interaction with E was me telling him that he had raped me because of all those times I said I didn't want to have sex, and then boom, suddenly we were having sex. You know? And he was like, no, you started it. You were the one that initiated it. And I was like, oh. So me saying I didn't want to have sex was initiating it. Okay, I see where you stand on the sentient trash meter, and I'm just gonna take a pair of scissors and cut you right out my life, because my professions include artist, porn star, sex worker, dog walker, creator of all things. Not a garbage man, so so yeah. And this one's a little icing on the top, because he wasn't even in my mind when I was thinking about making this video, but here he is now, because he was a raging rapist. He didn't rape me, but he tried to inflict pain on me. And now I'm talking about Neo Son 666 on FetLife. Goes by Neo. Don't remember your real name, little bitch. Little bitch ass nigga. What, you gonna come after me, you little bitch ass nigga? Watch me pop your whole fucking leg off, nigga. What you gonna do? Hop at me? Gonna hop at me? Gonna get your brothers to come after me? Cause you too much of a little bitch to handle shit yourself? You little crippled nigga. Excuse that outburst of anger, y'all. Cause, started hanging out with this dude. I'm just gonna tell you right the fuck now. I did a lot of really bad shit after Leon left, alright? Cause that shit ruined me to the point where I half didn't give a fuck and half just wanted to fill the voids, So there was a big healing period of me letting people into my life that I shouldn't have. Neo-san was one of them. Cause, I thought he was gonna be a nice dom. I thought he wasn't one of those emotionally manipulative dudes. But, then I started living with him just as a friend, while also being his sub. But then it's like, every time after the initial time was so nice. He just, like, played with me and, like, choked me out. All the good stuff that I was into. We had fun. And then after that, it was never like, oh, let me play with you, let me do the stuff you like. It was, oh, say this. Because it's like, our relationship wasn't sexual, but then he would be like, yeah, say you want me to say, I want you to fuck me, daddy. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want it. And if I verbally say it, despite the fact I don't want it, you can say legally in court that I verbally said that I wanted you to fuck me. And you ain't catching me with no loophole. Because if a bitch gonna take you down in any form, it's legally. Because I'm going to catch you with those legal loopholes. I'm going to make sure that I ain't leaving no evidence on the scene of the crime. You ain't getting me in a court of law, nigga. But you know who you gonna get? You. Because I wouldn't say that. And I'd be like, no, I don't feel comfortable saying that. And he would hurt me. He would hurt me to the point where with physically I checked out and couldn't feel the pain anymore. Because I have this defense mechanism where if I get put into enough pain that I can't take, I will check out of my body and I won't feel shit. And I would like literally just zoop, every aspect of my existence goes into my head. And like I don't feel the body anymore. So that's what I did. And it's not even like about what you did to me, even though you were a piece of shit to me, because you constantly used Cthulhu as a bargaining chip, talking about you're gonna throw her out the window. It's like, how do you in one breath say that you love her, she's a family pet, but in the next breath say you're gonna throw her out the window to hurt me? Okay, what? Not to mention you stole from me, and I know you did because the top that went missing from me seemed to have ended up on your submissive that you got when I was moving out. Not to mention how, I don't know what you were trying to get from it, but I had literally one piece of furniture left in the apartment to move out, and Cthulhu, and you put the furniture in the hallway, but then locked the door, locked the lock I didn't have keys for, with Cthulhu in the apartment. So, which is it? Do you want me to bust this door down and use it to break your skull open? Live in your house and collect your fucking unemployment and what's that shit called? Social Security? Disability checks? Is that what you want? Because you are starting with me by locking my child in your apartment that you kicked me out of on my birthday. Because he called me saying some bullshit and I'm like, can we not on my birthday? Like, I understand you're mad at Cthulhu and the fact that she's an animal, but how you gonna be mad at me because she escaped my room on the 3-day weekend that we took and made a mess of the apartment? I wasn't even here for that. And the first thing I did was clean this shit up. Like, you can't be mad at me because I didn't clean your room when you tell me not to go into your room. So if I'm respecting you and not going into your room, why are you mad at me because Cthulhu, the animal that you said you loved, shit in your room that I can't get to clean because I'm not allowed in there? Did you get dropped on your ugly head as a child? You must have gotten dropped on your ugly head as a child to be coming at me with this tomfoolery. This utmost tomfoolery, cause boy. So, not to mention he was super disrespectful to the submissive that he did have, who was also his aide, constantly talk about she's not bright when she was a bright, beautiful, intelligent motherfucker who did the fucking works for her children, and you want to come insult her because of her skin issues? Because she's not the skinniest girl? Nigga, what? How dare you with your dumb horse-based intelligence come at her because she's not the brightest? She's still smarter than you. Still cuter than you'll ever be. Fucking hoe. The hoe? Some of y'all niggas just need to get beat upside the head till you bleed out. So there was him. There was Neo-Sun. Terrible dumb. If you're ever on FetLife and you run into a Neo-Sun 666 or Neo-Sun 333, block his ass. Block his ass. He is no good. He is a motherfucker who will try to manipulate you into giving him what he wants. And nobody wants that, especially not you little cuties out there just looking for a good dom. He's definitely one of those doms who will try to manipulate you because he does not feel like he is worth shit. So he wants you to feel even lower than that. So avoid that, ladies, because it's not worth it. Some niggas just need to be thrown the fuck away. Some niggas need to be beaten to death. Can't help it. Them's is just facts. And I feel like I should stop the video and restart it so I don't lose all of that in this last part. So I'm gonna do that.